What's good, Commanders fans? Just wanted to do my weekly studs and duds video. Stock up, stock down. And then breaking news just happened. Stephon Gilmore did sign a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings for about $10 million. So he is no longer available. Guys, I think Xavier Howard is still available at the cornerback position. Also, J.C. Jackson. Somebody commented that on my video yesterday that J.C. Jackson is available. I know, what's the corner's name? Jalen Mills was released. Not very high on him. So he's available as well. But J.C. Jackson and also Xavier Howard are definitely guys to take a look at, because last night we saw another starting corner get beat by a third string guy or a third string wide receiver in River Craft by the from the Miami Dolphins. So last week we saw Emmanuel Forbes get beat by a third string Jets wide receiver that I can't remember his name, and the quarterback was a third string guy, can't remember his name either. So back-to-back weeks we have corners losing to second string, third string wide receivers and quarterbacks. So it's just unacceptable. And then Mike Davis, I don't know what to think of him. Like I said, every an odd year he has a bad year, and then even year he has a good year. So kind of iffy on him. He did give up a play in zone coverage to a wide receiver for about like 20 yards last night. So he hasn't done good or bad in the preseason games. I mean, the first game he was fine because his name was not mentioned at all, which is a good thing. But he hasn't done anything to really stand out so far. And training camp, I heard he hasn't really done much to stand out or be bad either. So, the secondary position or the cornerback position, other than really Mikey Sanders still, is a bunch of unknown, or kind of we know that these guys gave up big plays last year. And I talk about coaching, making these guys like Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn, are they going to make these guys better, like Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs? And a lot of people saying Al Harris was a huge part of that. Part of that, we were not able to bring Al Harris on board. So that may be the missing link. And some of this is just personnel. Like, you can only coach up guys so much. Like, if Emmanuel Forbes is just playing like he did last year, there's only so much you can do to make a guy better. Ben St-Juste, you can't make him faster. There's just some things you just can't really do to make guys better in some cases. So, I think Ben St-Juste, he is who he is, honestly. And I think Emmanuel Forbes, I'll just be optimistic and say that he can improve and get better. But sometimes you can only make these guys so much better than what they are, at some points. But some coordinators are good enough to make it happen. Can we generate enough pass rush to make these guys better and help our secondary out? That's going to be a big question mark this season too. But I do think they need to bring another cornerback in here in the building for sure, especially for depth too. Now, Cash and Phillips played pretty well last night. Some people commented. I do want to read a couple of comments from my video last night. But I'm gonna do studs and duds real quick here, and then maybe Riley Patterson gets released today. That's what I'm hoping, and we sign another kicker, because he needs to be gone. He doesn't need to be on a roster or on our roster at all right now at this point. All right, let's start off here. Studs and duds. Easily, Jayden Daniels was a stud. Not gonna go too much into Jayden. He played really well. I love the pass to John Bates over the middle. I love the pass to Dyami Brown for a first down, the connection that he has with Dyami Brown already. And I love the pass to Terry, where Terry was able to get some yak. Jayden had 2 third down conversions. They were both 3rd and 2 plays where he moved the sticks and moved the chains. I love the quarterback keeper that he had, even though he didn't slide and get down. It kind of was a weird situation where he kind of didn't have a lot of room to slide. I mean, he could have slid earlier. When he got the first down, I guess he could have slid. He got 13 yards. Maybe if he would have slid a little bit earlier, but he wanted the extra 2 to 3 yards, and thankfully he didn't take a big hit like some of the cartoonish hits that we saw at LSU. Dan Quinn had some words for him, but it wasn't like he was yelling at him in a like he was mad at him type of way. But he just wanted him to get out of harm's way. And then Jayden kind of laughed and said, basically saying like, I know what you're trying to say, type of conversation there. He did on third down. He threw a pass over Terry's head. Andrew Wiley did him no favors with the false start and also the holding. And he also is making guys better. He's making Brian Robinson's job easier in the run game. You see the RPOs, replay option type of plays. It's going to make the game a lot easier for B-Rob and Austin Eckler. He did not miss Austin Eckler over the top with the screen pass. He settled down. He just looked poised. He looked like he was taking command of the offense, no pun intended. He just looked the part, man. He looked the part. He looked really good. 12 for, he's been, last night he was 10 for 12, 11. No, he was 10 for 12, 78 yards. Had a very, very high quarterback rating as well. Yeah, the QBR was off the charts. Passer rating was 93.8, 91 total yards, 83.3% completion rate as well. So Jayden had a really good day. He looked the part. He's going to be certainly ready for week one. So I'm excited for Jayden Daniels for sure. But I guess the only negative I would say, really not much negative there, honestly. Really not much negative at all. All right. Another stud was Michael Wiley. Had a couple catches, not a lot of big plays, but had a 23-yard catch that helped to get us in field goal range. And running wise, he had 2 carries for 7 yards and an 11-yard run, which is pretty good. And then he also had a 23-yard run as well. So a dud for me is Chris Rodriguez because of Michael Wiley, because Michael Wiley, he looks like he has that third running back spot on lock right now. And Chris Rodriguez only had, how many carries did he have? He had 1 carry for 3 yards. Like, they're not even giving Chris Rodriguez an opportunity, really, or any snaps. So overall, Chris Rodriguez has 7 carries for 3 yards in the preseason. Now, Chris Rodriguez will probably get a lot of carries in the third game, but Michael Wiley's going to get a lot of carries too. I think Michael Wiley probably will start. And then Jeremy McNichols, 3 carries for 3 yards, and his longest run was for 2 yards. So out of all the running backs, other than B-Rob and Eckler, Michael Wiley's been the best guy out there. So and he has the shiftiness, the elusiveness, the quickness, explosiveness, and good hands too. So he's a lot to make the roster. He deserves to make the roster. Another stuff was Jamin Davis, man. He had the play of the day, play of the night, the strip sack, the forced fumble. I think he made himself a roster lock. A lot of people were like, oh, he's on a bubble. He's trying to learn a new position, the transition and all that. Another Ron Rivera draft pick. I get it was against a backup tackle, but that was a big play for him and a nice inside move where he got to the quarterback and forced the fumble. That was huge for Jamin Davis to step up and make a play. I think he cemented himself on a roster. And Jordan McGee being out, I don't know how long he's going to be out. They just need him anyway for linebacker depth, for sure. All right, quickly, Jeff Driscoll, I thought he looked pretty good. A nice 41-yard run. I did like that. He made a couple of nice passes as well out there. He was 11 for 15, 82 yards. He had a drive where it was messed up by Riley Patterson. Jayden Daniels had a drive that was messed up by Riley Patterson, missing a kick. So I thought Jeff Driscoll looked pretty good. Some people commented in my video saying that he should be over Marcus Mariota at this point. We'll see on that. We'll see what the coaches decide to do, but I think he should be kept on the practice squad, and maybe they can stash Sam Hartman on the injury reserve or whatever they do, like a not pupless, but like injury reserve, so he can stay on the roster or stay on the team some way, somehow. Frankie Louva looked good. He was flying around. Diami, I already said he was a stud. You know, he locked up. I think he's wide receiver number 2 at this point. Can he keep onto it and actually do it in the games, not just in practice and in the preseason? That's something that we have not seen him do consistently in the games. Tyler Owens saved a touchdown run. That was great. A good special teams tackle on the kickoff return. That was awesome by Tyler Owens. And then also he had a nice tackle for loss where he kind of led with his helmet, but I don't think they called a penalty. So that was a good play by Tyler Owens right there. He's been flying around. Mikey Sanders still was flying around. Frankie Louva was flying around. And I put Luke McCaffrey on the list for the offense. I'm doing offense first for the most part. I thought he made a nice catch. He made a nice catch. Was good on the gun. Was good as a gunner in the special teams, but he did mess up with fair catching it at the 5-yard line. That was a boneheaded play right there by him, a Shaq to the fool type of play. So he's got to do better with that. I did put Rosemary Jackson on the list because of the nice catch that he made for 23 yards. Looking at the stats, that was actually the longest. It was a 27-yard catch. That was the longest catch of the night. That was made by Marcus Rosemary Jackson. All right, so let's get to the and then Tyree Castro-Fields. A lot of people commented about Tyree Castro-Fields. I didn't talk about him last night, but he made some good plays. He made a nice pass deflection. Once again, it was against third-string receivers, but we've seen our guys, our number 1 guys, getting beat by third-string guys. So Castro-Fields has had a good camp, and I thought he played well last night with a nice pass breakup out there. Javonte John Baptiste with the sack. That was nice. And then the other guy, number 68, can't really pronounce his name. It was Hage Nadubuzi with a sack. So I thought that was a nice play by him as well. All right, duds. Kaz Allen, fumble, man. Like, this is the second preseason where we've seen him fumble, muff a punt, and just turn the ball over. So simple as that, he's a dud for that. He should be cut today, honestly. Riley Patterson, do I have to say much? He should be cut for missing the kick. He should have been cut last week. Ramiz Ahmed should be the guy who's still on the roster, not Riley Patterson. And I think Dan Quinn, that was his first mistake. Him and Adam Peters made a mistake by cutting Ramiz and keeping Riley. They should have cut Riley Patterson last week. Ben St. Juste for getting beat by a third stringer, a dud. Cole Turner for the drop. Even though it was a tough pass by McSorley, like Cole Turner turned around quickly and then dropped it, and it got intercepted. So Cole Turner, dud. I think he's going to be released. If not today or tomorrow, then probably after the preseason game against the Patriots. Mitchell Tinsley for the drop. I know Trace McSorley threw it behind him, but you still got to catch the football. So he's a dud for that. And that was a possible game-winning catch there too, or game-tying catch. Probably game-winning because they probably would have went for 2 after that. Jeremy Reeves for all the missed tackles. A dud last night, even though he's more of a special teams guy, all-pro special teams guy, you still got to tackle while you're out there. Chris Rodriguez, dud for not getting carries, and I think he's going to be released. And Michael Wiley has surpassed him. Andrew Wiley, a dud for the false start and the holding penalty as well. And then Brandon Coleman's not a dud, but him being out, is Lucas going to surpass him just because of availability? This is a week-to-week injury. So is he going to start week 1? I'm not calling him a dud or anything or stock up, stock down, but is his stock dropping to start? Will Lucas start just because he's available? When will Brandon Coleman be back? That's the question mark there for sure. And then Quan Martin, I like the way that he tackled, that he made plays out there. I thought he played pretty well for the most part. I liked him out there. And then I'll read a couple comments that did stand out from last night. No good 973 said, I told you about Wiley when we signed him. We were still 2 years away from being a strong playoff team. Keep building in the drafts. We have money, only sign young players. But yeah, he was talking about Wiley as well. Martavis Bryant did have a nice forced fumble. I did like that. Big E 1385 said Castro Fields. I talked about him or commented about him. TWTTV talked about Ed. I like Michael Wiley. Performed good both games. So a lot of people commented about Michael Wiley. Ed, I think Michael Wiley is as good. He did good in both games. And you're right, Patterson needs to get out of here. His key card needs to not work. And he needs his pink slip given to him as quickly as possible. OB1, the plug 716 said, Diami is Jayden's Malik Neighbors. So we'll see about that. But I do like I do kind of like the comparison a little bit. I'm not going to compare him to Malik Neighbors, but I think Jayden Daniels might be able to get the best out of De'Ami Brown. We thought it was going to be Sam Howell, but it looks like Jayden might be the best because De'Ami had 3 catches in only 2 series. Like, imagine if he would have played the whole game. He probably would have ended the day without at least 6 to 7 catches. And I was thinking about this. De'Ami Brown had 12 catches both seasons. That's really not good at all. Only 12 catches. Like, Terry will get 12 catches in literally 2 to 3 games. Like, you got to give me more than just 12 catches in a season. Like, that's why it's hard for me to trust De'Ami because we haven't seen the production. But if he keeps playing this way, I think he said he caught 500 footballs a day. So he's put the work in and has really tried his best to improve. So I'm really happy for him. So those are the studs and duds for me, guys. If you guys think I forgot anybody, Cliff Kingsbury looked good again with the up-tempo offense. I love that again. So Cliff, his stock, I know it's preseason, but his stock keeps rising to me. I really think him and Jayden are going to be a good match where he's the OC and not a head coach. So I think that's really going to work out for both those guys. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hell, the Commanders. Peace.